I think one of the worst episodes I had with my wife as a family member was around the period that my mother died, right around 2015. And she had cleaned out my dad's liquor cabinet while my mother was dying in the hospital. We live in California, we'd flow to New York. So that was a very embarrassing situation. I realized I needed to get my wife out of the house for a while because I don't think my dad or any of my other family members needed to deal with it. So we drove from New York down to Washington, D.C. and stayed in a hotel. Well, that night, my son and I had a big conversation with my wife, and she promised she wouldn't drink anymore during the trip. And we didn't really believe her, but that was her half-hearted uh, admittance that she would try and stop. So from there we went out to dinner that night, and before she ordered her dinner, she had 3 glasses of wine. She didn't order any food, but she proceeded to just sit there and drink wine in front of us as my son ordered our food, and we ate. By the end of the meal, she was so inebriated that she had her head down on the table. I paid the bill, and my son and I just left. We couldn't even be around it. It was just such craziness. Well, what happened next got really crazy. So my son and I went back to the hotel room in Washington, D.C., and about an hour later, my wife walks in completely disheveled, all frustrated that we had left her, we had deserted her at the restaurant, and they'd kicked her out because they were closing. So we were not too happy because she had said that she wouldn't drink anymore. Well, one thing led to another. Within an hour, she went to the bathroom. She fell down on the bathroom, completely shattered the hotel bathroom to where water was gushing out into the bathroom, came out into the room, and eventually into the hallway. I didn't even realize what was going on until water was coming and dripping down into the hotel room. So I ran in and I was able to turn the water off, but by then water had come, it filled half the hotel room and it was out into the hallway. I had to call the hotel staff. We had to get another room. My wife was so inebriated that we left her in the first room because she passed out on the bed. That's as far as we could get her. The room was half destroyed. There was water up to the walls. It was insane. And this was one of our days on a vacation. The following morning, my son and I, which we slept in a different room because the hotel was nice enough to give us another room, I called my wife up at the first room, and she was screaming at us because she had no memory of what had happened the night before. She thought we had deserted her and that we had left her in the hotel. She had no understanding that she had shattered the bathroom. She didn't understand why the floors were even wet. So I had to explain to her where we were. She came down. Let me make a long story short. The hotel charged me for 2 rooms, which was about $250 a night, and somewhere in the neighborhood of about $5,000 for water damage, just for staying there for one night, trying to get away and have a break so that my family could have a break from my wife. This is all the same week that my mother passed away. So for me, this became a turning point where I had had enough, and certainly in my heart I had had enough. The reason why I talk about this type of situation or scenarios like this, because I know other families can relate to this. I know that they go through these type of scenarios on a daily basis. And I know it's relatable for many people. If it's not, then just move on and scroll. But unfortunately, my wife eventually passed away a little over 4 years ago after going to 7 rehabs, multiple outpatient facilities, and on and on. But it's a very difficult thing and a very difficult place for families to be. And again, I tell stories like this on a daily basis, not to disparage my wife or to bring some horrible story that went on. It's not about that. It's really about talking about it, discovering it, dissecting what happened in the day-to-day life of an alcoholic, and maybe it will inspire other people to take action to no longer be in that situation and certainly get help for the alcoholic. And again, if you need help, I've helped thousands of alcoholics. Again, I would click the black and white picture. It takes you to my bio, and then you can go to my link tree and set up a breakthrough call. I've helped thousands of alcoholics, and just as importantly, I've helped their families. Again, please like, share, and comment. And again, we have a Facebook group called Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. It's going to become a very good support group, and we talk about alcoholism in the family and many, many other issues. And again, thanks for listening.